so much. Compliance.ai is a regulatory technology-focused solution addressing the needs of the financial sector, specifically serving compliance teams, giving them a fresh view and a fresh perspective on how to deal with regulatory changes. We look at the challenge that compliance teams face in terms of keeping up with regulatory changes before, during, and after rules are made. Everything from proposed rules, registered notices, guidances, reports, to executive orders, and last but not least, enforcement actions. Who got fined? What was the fine amount? What was the penalty? What was the violation? And we see organizations spending a huge amount of time trying to manage this at different jurisdiction levels, be it federal, state level, international. And what this has led to is two approaches that traditionally are being used. One is let's throw bodies at it, and let's try to staff up. And we find that that's time-consuming, error-prone, non-scalable, and frankly, an approach that can be solved now through automation, as I'll explain later. And we saw another disturbing trend. Well, a lot of companies stopped paying attention to the actual rules and start paying more attention to the actual enforcement actions to see if something is relevant to them at the tail end of it. In many cases, this may be too late. In fact, one of the most popular aspects of our solution today is the subscription that we get off the charts to our enforcement action curated reports. This has become a priority for organizations, and they're spending a good amount of attention to it, and we're addressing how companies can do a better job of managing regulatory changes. We accomplish this by serving different constituents at the organization. Should you care about the change that just happened? How is it relevant to your role? If you're dealing with anti-money laundering, you're only going to see content relevant to you. If you're only dealing with privacy or cybersecurity, that's the only content that gets presented to you. We bring content over from various sources. At this point, over thousands of sources, 3.3 million regulatory documents have been aggregated, brought together, lower the noise level, and give you just the content that's relevant to you and your organization, classify them automatically by taking advantage of artificial intelligence and purpose-built machine learning models for those topics across a pretty comprehensive variety of document types that you would care about. The traction we've had so far has been with banks, insurance companies, fintech, and some of the financial services organizations. The key objective is to automate and simplify processes that are typically time-consuming. How do you track the changes? How do you prioritize what's important to you? How do you classify them and put them in the right bucket? And how do you automatically assign tasks to individuals who are held responsible for that? Take advantage of Expert in the Loop, a novel approach to artificial intelligence that uses a weighted approach to experts that are chief compliance officers, current and former regulators, law professors, and even law students to achieve the type of curation we're looking at, to then send you automatic focused reports, automatic focused analysis, and the creation of a calendar which has one distinct difference with the typical calendar that you interact with. No human being created this. This is based on what the company was following. The obligations were extracted automatically and presented to the users on a timely fashion. And now the user logs in, and all they have to do is pay attention to their obligation and their tasks that are created for them automatically. Take a 30-page document and provide a 6-paragraph abstract summary of the obligations relevant to this regulatory document. Try to do that at a pace of 200 to 300 documents being published a day with lawyers. Costly, time-consuming, error-prone, and not scalable. Ultimately, provide a refreshing way to interact with this content and provide a key advantage over the approaches that we see today in the market, reducing the noise significantly, providing instant access to what has changed around you, and finally, make sure that you're up and running within seconds as the promise of SaaS is delivered to the compliance professionals. And of course, use Expert in the Loop to make sure that the content is not just machine curated, but is vetted and looked at by experts that are helping with that content curation process. We're here and would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Look forward to your feedback. Thank you. Bye-bye.